Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Good afternoon, all of you Days of Our Lives fans, and welcome to AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On. And you guys know that we are taking you back and talking with some of our favorite past cast members of your favorite soap opera, Days of Our Lives, and today is no exception. I'll be your host, Tony Moore, and I am also here with my sidekick on all of these. We have
James Lott Jr. Hi, guys.
with the Quiet Storm voice.
That's right.
And, of course, we have our special guest in, and you guys know him, you guys love him, you guys remember him, Mr. Mark Hapka.
What's up, guys?
Oh, you have a Quiet Storm voice, too.
I do.
Ooh. Oh, the claps. Yeah, that's right.
See,
Were
you
those
got,
real?
Yeah, they're real.
Awesome.
Yeah. See, you guys have that like 1 a.m. to like 5
I know,
a.m.
that's
radio
right.
voices.
Yes,
Like
that's
late
right.
night?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Like smooth jazz?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
See, I don't have that. I have that. Wake up! I had to stop myself because I almost said a cuss word.
You almost did.
I felt it
I
coming.
felt it coming too,
and I
actually.
stopped myself because I don't want to get in trouble. I love my job here.
This is a family show. So
Well,
yes.
yeah.
So you're saying no swearing?
Well, you say it and then you apologize
That's
later.
right.
Right,
That's how you do it.
exactly. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for
I'm glad
or coming
we
up.
were-
I don't know where you came from. So
I don't. Yeah, I'm geographically not.
Okay.
Oh, me
Yeah.
too. When someone says right, left, or east, west, I'm like, what? I don't know
one
what
makes
that
the
is.
L? Okay.
Exactly. So let's travel back in time
Oh, let's do it.
to 2009.
Wow.
yes.
Well, actually, before that, because
Yes.
I remembered that before you came on as Nathan Horton, you actually played Johnny, the older version of Johnny
15-year-old.
DeMera.
Johnny DeMera.
Yeah. How was that? If you can remember, because
wow,
we're
yeah.
taking you like
I did
far
it
back.
twice, actually.
Yeah, you did a couple
Yeah.
episodes.
It was, I believe, a dream sequence
Yes.
for
Mhm.
Alison Sweeney's character, and
Yes.
just seeing her twins in the future and
Yeah.
seeing what might come of them given their upbringings. And I turned out to be a little douche, a little wow.
It's okay.
Already starting already.
Yeah,
oh my
a
God,
little
it's a party.
Yeah, a little jerk.
Yeah.
Was very mean to his sister and
Yeah.
just really snobby.
Yeah.
How was Alison Sweeney? You
She's
had a chance to
great.
work with her, actually. You got a
Yeah,
chance to.
you know, I actually think that led to the contract role. Gary was executive producer of the show at the time too, and we did a scene that was like 8 pages long.
Wow.
And this is before I even knew how soaps work, because I had only done other television or
Okay.
other movies where you're like, okay, you get the close up, you get the wides, you get your,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, you have all these shots, but with a soap, you just go through it once, you don't realize you're being captured. at
Right,
every
and then
angle.
that's
At
it.
every angle, yeah.
So I did the scene. It was like 8 pages, and then all of a sudden, like the bell rings. They're like, "All right, moving on." I'm like, "Wait, what?" I thought that was the wide shot. I was like getting worked up for my close up, but no. And Gary was like, "Oh, that's great," because they're always looking for actors that can stay on it and stay in it for the entirety and move quick.
Yeah.
That was Gary Tomlin, right?
Gary Tomlin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gary Tomlin. That's
So
wow.
then, when they were casting for Nathan, like, did they call you in specifically for that, or did they call and say based on
Here's
that?
a fun fact. So that turned into I went in for Will
Oh,
originally.
really?
Yes, and then they didn't know which age range they wanted to go.
Yeah.
And then they cast Taylor Sprightler, and then they're
Yes.
like, okay, this won't work as much.
Yeah.
So then a little time went by, and then they said, oh, we have the perfect one, Nathan, and they brought me in
You
for
as
Nathan.
Will.
See,
Interesting.
Would have been completely different.
Wow. Interesting.
That
Still a
would've
hard
been
one, though.
Because Taylor
Still a hard
Sprightler
one.
played
Yeah.
Mia, right?
Yeah, Mia.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that's when Chandler.
Chandler came in.
Yeah.
Well, first
Oh,
it
was
was
that
Dylan
Dylan?
Patton.
Yes, he
Yeah.
came first. He was first.
And then it turned into Chandler Massey.
Yeah.
And then now it's
Like on
Guy
his name.
Wilson.
Guy Wilson.
Guy
Yeah.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who I think was in another movie of mine, Altergeist. I think so. I could be wrong.
The
'Cause
that's
there-
coming up.
That one came out last year.
Okay.
It's out on I think DirecTV now. But he did. They did like a. You know how at the end of movies they set up like the sequel?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like
yes.
a new group of people came in at the end of the movie, and I think he was part of it. I never met him. I wasn't on set with him. But
funny.
yeah, I think.
Look at that little Days connection.
I
that
know,
happens.
already.
It's always happening, yeah.
that's gonna happen.
I could see you as Will.
Me too,
Like
actually.
if you went in as Will, I could see that.
Yeah.
It would be an interesting time now for Will if you had stayed on.
Yeah,
Yes.
things are getting a little.
Yeah.
They're pushing the buttons, right?
Well, he's turned into a little Sammy. So,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
And
yeah.
a dark-haired Will. That'd be
Yeah.
nice. Because
Yeah.
take after Lucas, we take after Lucas more
Yeah.
than Sammy's side.
It would have worked.
Yeah, it would have worked. I think it would have worked also.
You know what? It could still work. You know what they could do right now? They could simply just blow something up, right? And
Yes.
then they can't find Will. Oh, where
Yes,
is he?
right.
And then he knocks on the door and unwraps the bandages, and it's you. And
Are
you
the
got your
are the
face
writers getting this right
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
He always
listen,
writes, he
already
writes
set.
scenes all the time.
You guys know me well enough to know I will write anybody into days.
does.
I
The
write
interesting
myself
thing-
in.
like it's different. It's one thing to keep changing. Yeah, I'll write myself. I was waiting for that. It's one thing to change actors in the middle, but like it might be a little different to bring back an old actor to play another role.
No,
They did that
they've
with
done
Roman. Roman played Chris
That's
Kochatek
true.
back in the 80s for like 10
And
years.
there's a pretty good gap
Yeah.
though between there.
Yeah, there's a
They-
couple
well,
of
enough.
and they did it with Judy Evans when she played
That's right,
Bonnie
Bonnie
Lockhart, and then she came back
I
as
loved her as
Adrian.
Bonnie.
Wow.
Oh my
We were
God.
all kinds of confused, but we bought it because that's what you
It's
do
so
with
bad.
soaps.
You buy
And there's
anything.
always that it just goes in. People they say no, no, no. They fight
Yeah.
it. They fight it. You read about it. Then all of a sudden they warm up, and
Mm-hmm.
you just got to give it time.
Yeah. So, how did you enjoy your time on Days? Because you were there for 2 years, and I
Yeah,
know.
think two and a half years. Almost.
Yeah. So that was like a pretty long period of time.
Yeah, it's a especially. It was one of the longest running gigs I'd had
Yeah.
to date at the time, and it was amazing. Like it becomes a tight knit family. You see the same people every day.
Mm-hmm.
Your hair and your makeup people you're very close with every morning. They're usually saving you the mornings that you look like you should have slept a few more hours.
They're like, let me just put some more powder right
A
here.
little bit more. We're gonna start from scratch. Just give you a new face. But some of those 5 o'clock in the morning, days,
All
it's,
times,
it's
like,
tough.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you get close with them. The actors become part of your family. You're
Mm-hmm.
out supporting them in other aspects of their life. So it was amazing.
Who were you close with while you were there during your time
man.
there?
A lot of people. I was really close with Molly, who
Yeah.
plays Melanie.
Yeah.
I became very close with Nadia and who else? Oh, Casey. I ended up living with Casey for a while.
Oh,
really?
Actually, I just talked to Casey. He's like, "Hey, you want to get a new place? Let's go get a new spot in Venice."
Good roommates are hard to find.
Yeah,
Find a
yeah.
good
So
one.
when you find one, you keep them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Trust me, I've been through half of them. It's LA.
It's true. So Nadia, Casey, Molly, like bunch of random people. Still
Yeah.
talk to them to this day. So
Yeah, Molly and Casey came in to do our show.
Oh, really?
A few
Yes.
times, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was nice to have them and take them back.
Yeah.
To, their time on Days too.
yeah,
So
Molly
you-
went back for a little bit too.
She did.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, and Nadia's
And so did
coming
Nadia.
back.
She's coming
Yeah.
back again.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, how was like being a Horton? You were a legacy family member.
Oh
Yeah.
man, the
Did you get,
pressure.
Just born into
did you
it.
get an ornament on the tree?
I did. It's there. I
Ew.
think it's green.
Ooh, see,
Yeah.
I love it.
I bet you they still put it up every Christmas, right?
They do.
Yeah,
always
they
on
do.
I
the
cry every time.
Because where's Nathan? He's doing missionary somewhere
Yeah,
in
somewhere.
Japan or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
They send him
Maybe.
off
Yeah.
to save the world.
They're good. They're good at sending people off.
Yeah.
Belle and Sean
Yes.
have been circling
Oh, yeah.
around
Around the
for
world.
like 10 years.
And then
long
I came
time.
back. But I always think the Horton thing, because I'm such a Horton fan, to see the tree and all that. And I'm thinking as a cast member, when you get one of those.
It's great, yeah. Because your ornament is joining like 40-year-old
I know.
ornaments.
I know.
That they keep so safe every year.
So do you know they keep them all in like a special?
Yeah, they have a special box. They're very careful when they bring them out, and like
Wow.
I don't get to touch mine until it's like the shot where I have to hang
Yeah.
it up. And then they're like, "All right, give that back." They have like soft
Aren't you
gloves.
nervous? Like you go, oops.
I
Just
would. I'd be nervous. I'd be like, "Can you just do that montage where like mine is already hanging up?
already there.
Like I don't even want to touch it. It's just like
Or they just shoot one hand
Yeah.
once, and they use the same thing every year. That's the same one.
just the same
Just-
hand each time." But like I feel like the whole time you were on Days, you were just involved in like this love triangle between Melanie.
So I
and
was on a
Stephanie.
soap opera.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
yeah.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
You're with one girl, you find after another. It's always the
Yes.
case.
right.
Yeah.
But see, there was no baby switching involved with you. There was no,
No, because I'm a Horton.
kidnapping.
I gotta.
no
It's
stabbings.
gotta be always good intentions.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Sometimes I wanted that like drug dependency or like that like secret serial killer vibe. That would have been fun, but no, not with Hortons.
Oh, he could have been a new Salem stalker.
You could have been.
Just
killing
going around
people.
killing everyone, and then they're all back to life.
Oh,
yeah.
that happened
On an
before
island.
already, right?
Well, listen, you did it once, we'll buy it again.
Yeah, that's true. But so it must be interesting because you said you bring up a good point. You played part of a family that they're all supposed to be basically good.
Yeah.
You do bad things. So how was it as an actor for you to play that where you're like, God, I wish I could be a little more meatier, but it's You're the good guy.
Challenging, but in a good way. You know, on a show with so many cast members, you're all playing your part in a larger story. So in order to make the Kyriakises look the way they look, there's got to be that contrast. So you realize that you're part of a bigger picture, and it's validating.
Now the doctor stuff. How is the lingo?
Two people that drove me nuts, obviously, all the time. Brian DiTillo.
Oh, funny.
That mother.
Yes. Sleep. Yes.
And Nadia too, because there's so many scenes that I had where she was in her coma.
Oh, that's right.
She spent like 8 months in a coma.
Yes.
I'm like, you come in here, you lay in a bed,
look
and you get paid for
just
8
like
months,
and look beautiful.
And just look as though you're preserved.
Yeah.
But she would sit there as I'm trying to spit out this lingo on my shots, and she's just like. And make faces. I'm like, you guys can't do that. Or Brian during the rehearsal will be like, oh yeah, and he'll make his like Jim Carrey faces, and I'm like, you guys are not helping me, because then I'm thinking about it during the take. So I became a better actor because of those guys.
Wow, that's it.
Having to stay with it.
Was it intimidating for you coming on to Days as Nathan? Because I mean, you had many other roles before, but this genre of soap was also new.
Even just the idea. Soap actors are some of the hardest working actors, I think, in the industry.
Yeah.
I've witnessed people and what they pull off, memorizing 40 pages a night, getting things with full-on blocking and everything, and finding, you have to be aware at all times of everything. If I'm talking to you and all of a sudden I'm realizing I'm casting a shadow on your face, I have to keep talking while I slightly shift to the right and make sure your light is hitting you, and while remembering the monologue of information, because soap dialogue is also written very informational, not conversational.
Exactly.
So I'm not, it wouldn't be like, hey, Tony, I haven't seen you in a while, how you doing? It's like, hey, Tony, I haven't seen you since Bo and Hope took off to Italy, and you're like catching everybody up on all the storylines and dialogue.
That's true.
So there's that challenge, there's the one take, and then also, I guess what made me most nervous is walking into a show that has had so much history, and I actually didn't know too much about it, so I wanted to be respectful. I wanted to make sure I was coming into the space, doing my part, and not offending.
Did anybody explain to you some of your history? Because Melissa was another kind of legacy
I got on
character.
YouTube and I started watching all the old ones.
Yeah.
Saw my mom. I'm pretty sure I saw the episode that I was conceived.
Ooh, hey, okay.
That's awkward.
With the 80s music.
It was exactly the 80s music.
Some big hair.
But and Melissa's adopted, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's always those safe things they do just in case you start dating your cousin. It's justified because there's no blood involved.
Listen, one phone call can change everything.
It's true.
Yeah. Because wasn't John a Demera?
Yes,
and then they called and said, no, you're not. And they were like, oh, and now we can proceed with storyline.
The idea of soap opera storylines are absolutely brilliant. To keep something running for 50 years. Ongoing story and thinking ahead and then fixing, just constant creative, spontaneous changes.
Yeah.
I just thought of something. I do a thing where I try to connect soap characters and show you how they're related. Him and Melanie are related, kind of adoptedly, but they're not. Because,
but I'm pretty sure Stephanie and Nathan were related.
Yes, on the other side. On the other side,
because Bo and Hope are both our aunt and uncles.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So this kind of Hope's your cousin.
Yeah. What are we getting into here?
But it's just kind of funny because you had a storyline with Melanie. So it's kind of funny back then. Melanie wasn't. She was just Melanie.
Listen, we all know there's some ancestralness going on in St. Louis.
I love it.
Because it's such a small town.
Just keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Keep it in the family.
But if you add someone to the cast, things can change.
Like Tony Moore.
I mean, that's not a plug or anything, but it's a plug.
Tony's like, I'm a Horton by blood.
Yeah. I actually would want to be a Demera.
You'd want to be a Demera?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to play good? That's not good.
Ooh.
It looks like we have a caller on the phone. So we're going to take our first question from our
Mom?
Days of Our Lives fan. Right. No. Hello, caller. You are live on our AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On with Mark Hapka. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
From Springfield, Virginia.
Why, hello there. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Do you have a question for Mark?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I have two questions.
Okay, what's your first question?
What was your favorite and your least favorite scene when you were on Days?
So the favorite scene and the least favorite scene.
On Days.
On Days.
My favorite and least favorite?
Yeah.
They're actually kind of the same scene.
Oh, okay.
The first thing that comes to mind was there's a fun. It was actually Nathan and Melanie's first date at at oh my goodness, I just blanked. What's the bar?
Back then.
There was so many.
The what's the country one? The Cheating Heart.
Cheating Heart.
Heart.
So it was at the Cheating Heart, and they had their first meeting where I think Stephanie showed up and Melanie was in the bathroom, and so essentially it's the scene that led to their first kiss.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So what was very interesting about it was that day Molly had gotten a spider bite on the face near her eye, and it swelled up. And so they're like, "Oh no, what are we gonna do?" So obviously, there's no on a soap. There's no changing the date. You keep moving. So they got into eye makeup. They gave her Benadryl to find out that she's allergic to Benadryl.
Oh my god!
So now she's got this swollen eye. She looks as though she's drank 3 bottles of tequila. And she's like laying down in between scenes and in between shots and. Literally, like, we're doing the scene, and I'm sitting with her, and technically she's under 21 at this point. So it looks as though I've, like, gotten her drunk, and she's trying to play it very... So it's just, like, this creepy thing going on. So she... we literally would, like, people were propping her up so she could say her lines and then, like, letting go for the shot and then catching her. And she was just taking naps in between. So that was, like... It's bad because it was like the introduction to their relationship, but at the same time it was really fun because it's just, kind of crazy. So that would have to be it.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
I
and
never
she pulled it off.
Yeah.
She kicked butt.
See, a true professional.
That's right.
And Sarah, you had a second question. What is that?
Do you keep in touch with Shaylee Henny and Tyler Blackburn? Do you remember them?
Oh yeah, we had a scene. Tyler went off to do Fires and Ravenswood.
Yes, he's
been kicking butt in his
busy.
career. Yeah, he's doing really good. We had that weird little triangle. Remember when he had the long hair and he was like the comter nerd and he was trying to hide the switching the maternity test?
Yeah.
He was really great. I only see Tyler every once in a while. I don't really keep in touch with him. And Shelly herself is like she's blowing up with her movies and shows. She's on Teen Wolf now. She's on a bunch of different things. So, to answer your question, I occasionally, but not too close.
Awesome. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, Sarah.
And make sure you keep watching us.
Thank you so much. And I hope Nathan comes back someday, then I will be so happy if he does.
Well, Sarah, you know how we are on this show. We love to do hashtags. So now you can start the hashtag Bring Nathan back.
There we go.
All right. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are all about hashtags.
Yeah, we
here.
hashtag
So
everything.
we had hashtag Bring Jack back.
Yes.
Because our other co-host Mark loves Jack Jerry.
Yeah. Jack Jeffero.
Yeah.
I had hashtag Bring Belle back.
Yes, and she's back.
And now she's back.
Hashtag Write Tony in.
Right. Well, no, yours is.
Mine is hashtag Maxine's son.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The nurse, the head
trust
nurse.
me. There's a whole storyline there.
Yes, there is.
I'll tell you about it.
She'd be a great mother to have too.
She would.
I love working with her. She was the highlight of it.
Sassy woman.
Yeah.
I love that each one of her scenes, like you're glued to her because you never know what her reaction is going to be, but it's like the realest reaction.
Yeah, and she put Melanie in her place quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, trust me, she's still putting people in her place.
Yeah.
So what was like your favorite storyline or one that you really enjoyed and felt like you were able to kind of dig deeper?
Yeah, that would have to be when Nathan and Melanie both ended up in quarantine together.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting, but for me it just happened too fast. I'm like, oh, you could have stretched this out like a week or two. We end up in quarantine where neither of our significant others can reach us, so they're very nervous because they know that we have a thing for each other. It was great to dive into. There was some, you had to dive into the acting chops a little bit more. It was a little more than casual, so it was really nice to play dying of a deadly virus, and also just like more emotional, more sweet scenes. So I would say that storyline was one of my favorites.
Now you also got to work with Blake Barris, didn't you? Or did you?
No, I didn't.
You didn't. I
Nick,
think
he was my cousin that we talk about. Remember when she's like taking pain pills or something?
I couldn't remember if you had worked with him or not.
No, but I know Blake very well now. It's funny. So you talked about who I keep in touch with. I'm closest with Rachel. But I was never on the show with Rachel.
No.
She's become a very good friend of mine, and we went to events together after the fact, and then just became really good friends. And Blake is close with Rachel as well. So yeah.
He's doing all kinds of stuff too these days.
He's doing great. He's a great actor.
He's a great actor. We loved him.
At my age, I had a question and then I totally forgot.
Well, I would say so. Okay, so I'm
getting old, y'all.
I have family from West Seneca. which is near Buffalo.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
how was Buffalo for you growing? You were there for a first part of your life? Yes, very cold.
I made my early living shoveling driveways. Usually by the time I finished it, it needed to be shoveled again because that's how fast the snow falls.
Oh, see, I can't do snow.
It's like sometimes 8 months of the year. It's just freezing, snowy.
God. But it's beautiful
weather.
up there.
It's very beautiful.
It is.
I grew up in an Italian family, so we have some of the best pizza wings, lasagna. Needless to say, I was a pretty fat kid. Yeah.
I know the feeling.
I
grew up in the South.
It's just so nice up there. It's a beautiful part of town.
Yeah, Niagara Falls is right there.
I've been that side, yes.
And there's the casino. You just climb over. 19, you go over the border to drink, from what I'm told.
You? Oh, okay. I was going to say you didn't do that
No,
at all.
not at all.
No.
Molson Triple X, I have no idea what it tastes like.
And then you went to Rome, New York.
Rome, New York,
Yes.
which people only know as Woodstock 99.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I went to Rome from 6th grade through high school, and then I left to take off to Syracuse. So it's been a good week. At the time, Rome's grown a lot since I've left too. So at the time, actually one of my first acting jobs, I worked at Fort Stanwyck, so I did reenactments. I was like a drummer boy. Drummer boy Nicholas Hill. That's what I have not thought about that in a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, there was that. There was we had a bowling alley and a super Walmart. That's
A super.
Listen, that's
extent of
living.
it.
That's
I
living.
love
right there.
bowling. I love bowling.
Yeah,
I
but
love Walmart.
I'll tell you what, I couldn't wait to get out of the town when I left. Now I love going back because it's like I get to slow down, chill out, see
Right.
family, see friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I feel too. Whenever I go back to South Carolina, I'm like, it's just, you can just chill. Like, it's not so fast paced. Everyone's
Yeah.
kind of like taking their time. No one's honking their horn at you, yelling at you.
Then you
Like,
get
it's
on.
just
Then you get
nice.
off that plane at LAX, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, it's like, oh, yeah.
and move out of the way, Ash.
This
Excuse
is
my
how
language.
it is. This is how it is. So, would you ever consider or think about going back to,
Yeah, of
to
course.
Dave?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think Nathan would be doing like right now?
If he came back, or
Yeah.
what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
I think that he would have he'd become very established and a lot closer to being a lot like his great grandfather.
Yeah.
I think that he's really polished up in his medical, and I think he's seen the world. So now he'll probably come back with a completely different perspective.
He could be the new Daniel Jonas.
Good.
Why am I not a writer?
But
on
with
this show?
less lap dances.
Yes.
Yeah.
And less. I'm gonna save your life, and then I'm gonna date you afterwards.
Right, exactly. He did date like half the
there's a lot
channel,
of
didn't
that.
he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You owe me your life.
Was there anyone that you wanted to work with
That's
on the
what
show
said
that
that,
you
yeah.
didn't get a chance to? Because there's so many people.
Yeah,
on the
I always
show.
got little moments with certain people.
Yeah.
I wish I could have worked more with James. I love James.
Yeah.
And his storylines.
James
You know,
Scott, folks. That's
Yes,
what-
James
yeah.
Scott. I'm
Yes.
sure everybody knows
I'm
that.
just
Come on
making
now.
sure we get his
Yeah.
name out there.
Everybody loves James.
Yes.
Aniston, I worked a little bit more
okay.
with John. If I worked a little more with him, it's just like, and even Stefano, any of the roles that have like history to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would be very interesting to work with, because the one thing about soaps too is that there's so many different types of actors on them. The style of the show is really the variety of types. So you have film actors, you have sitcom actors, you have soap actors, and they're all mixed into the show,
Yeah.
and it's really interesting to see them work off each other.
Yeah.
So I think it makes its own unique style altogether.
What is one thing you've taken from your experience working on a daytime soap to your other projects now?
The pressure of making every take count.
Ooh.
So now that I get the luxury of 8 or 9
yeah.
takes for movies, each one of them I can give something to that can be used in the editing room.
Wow.
Rather than spending 7 takes trying to figure out what I want to do and then get it right on the go.
I'm ready now. Here we
Yeah,
go.
absolutely.
Right.
That and just my ability to memorize fast. It's like learning how to drive an 18-wheeler and then just having to drive a car. So
Yeah.
it's
funny.
you work so much harder on a soap because
Yeah.
the dialogue to sell informational dialogue is a bit of a challenge at sometimes too.
Yeah.
So then when you're given conversational dialogue, it just flows.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy. Actually, that's a great analogy. You learn how to do something big.
Yeah.
So when you go small, it's just downsizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
So now that you have left Salem, and it's been many years since you've left Salem, you've done like a lot of stuff since then, and I feel like you've now dabbled into directing and producing since
Yeah,
you
a little
left
bit
as
of
well,
everything.
right?
Yeah, that's actually the focus is now.
Yeah.
Getting my own projects off the ground. But since I left Salem, it was more. I did a lot of the passion movies that I wanted to do prior and during. So I took on roles that scared me than any other actor, and said, I'm just going to jump into this and see what happens.
Yeah.
And it's been an amazing experience.
Yeah.
My heart and my passion is in movie making.
Okay.
I love television, and especially nowadays, though, like television is mini movies. You're
Yeah.
creating
Yes.
cable television shows
Yes.
like The Leftovers or,
Yeah.
any of these
Oh, yeah,
HBO or
yeah.
Showtime shows. Like they're all mini movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't even say that anymore. I'm open to almost everything.
Yeah. I actually just caught you in the Lifetime movie Deadly Revenge.
He's on.
I saw that. Now listen, let me tell you about Lifetime movies. They suck you in.
They do.
Like
They do.
you can be.
She's shaking her head too.
It can be the last 10 minutes of it, and
Yeah.
you're
You're
like,
like, oh, wait, I just
I'm gonna
watched this
watch
whole
it again.
thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't
yeah.
even realize you had it on the whole time.
No,
I agree.
no.
I
You
agree.
just sit there and you're like, what's gonna happen to her? Why is she running behind the? Ooh,
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
ooh,
exactly.
okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I thought you did great, and you got to work
Oh,
with
thank
Donna
you.
Mills.
Hello.
Yeah, that's the
Legend.
Another
infamous Donna
legendary.
Mills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
legend.
Fiery woman at 80.
she
How
is-
old is she? 80 now. she's. I mean, I'm
Her early
impressed.
hundreds.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now she was just on
Drop Dead Divas or no? It is not.
Queen of Drama.
Queen of Drama.
Queen of Drama,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I mix
all-
those up.
No, it's fine. It's
There's
probably
I
all
have
the
three
same.
friends on that show. Lindsay Hartley's on there.
Yeah.
Crystal Hunt, who was in 23 Blasts with me,
Yeah.
is on there as well. So that's very interesting to see people from three different
That you worked with.
But you-
on one
worlds
show.
all together now.
Yeah. Speaking of 23 Blasts, that's a film that you did
Yeah.
as well. Tell us about that.
Oh man, that was amazing. I went to Kentucky, was it a couple years ago now, to shoot that, and it's based on a true story of Travis Freeman. It's basically a kid. It's a small town, a place where football. It's family, God, and football.
I love it.
Those are
There
the
you go.
top three things. So it's technically a faith-based movie. What I love about it though is it doesn't shove the message down your throat. It just is.
Yeah.
This kid. I don't know how much I want to say. Well, yeah, this kid basically football was his life. That's all he knew.
Yeah.
And was suddenly hit with bacterial meningitis and had to go into emergency surgery and came out irreversibly blind.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
So to have that happen to him, and then have his passion football be something that he thought he couldn't return to. So without giving away too much, he essentially decides either he's going to play it safe and go sit in a home and just wait to die,
Yeah.
or if he's going to grab it by the
Stuff.
the
Yes.
stuff and push
balls.
forward. And yeah, we can say balls. That's
Yeah.
not
Balls.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
illegal.
fine. Yeah.
I'll apologize just in case. Sorry about the balls. He overcomes all of that, and not only does he find a way to live again, I think he ends up in a place that he never could have without this happening to him.
Yeah.
But he ends up being one of the first people to go back to playing football blind.
Now, if people want to see this movie, it's on.
It just came out on Redbox,
On Redbox.
like last
Okay.
week.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was in theaters the end of last year. It's actually, and it just went to theaters in Australia today,
nice.
I think.
Wow. Good
Yeah,
place, Australia.
someone just, and there's a lot of Days fans there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely growing down in Australia.
Yeah, so it just came out in Australia. It's on Redbox now. You can hit up any of your 7-Elevens.
Yeah.
$1.50. I brought a copy. You asked me to bring a copy. I have a
Yeah.
DVD in the car, so I'll bring it in.
Oh,
Thank you.
If you want to do something with it.
And we're going to give that away during our audition days every
Yes.
Sunday at 5 p.m. right here on AfterBuzz TV.
That's right.
Awesome.
That was a little
Plug.
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 Hashtag.
Hashtag plugs. I think we have a caller
Oh, nice.
live on us. Caller, welcome to AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On. You're on live with us and our special guest Mark Hapka. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Ashley. I'm calling from Toronto, Canada.
Oh, well, hey, Ashley. How are you?
Hey, Ashley.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. You know, I love that you watch all of our stuff and that we get to chit chat with you.
Yes, definitely.
You are
Wouldn't
now
miss it.
truly one of our devoted fans.
You are, girl.
Do you have a question for Mark?
I do.
Okay.
Mark, I thought you did a great job hosting Acme with Molly back in
That was fun.
2010, I think it was.
Yeah,
Oh
something
my
like
God,
that.
I remember
Yeah.
seeing that.
Yeah, you did some stuff there.
Go ahead.
If you had
Sorry.
the opportunity to do more live work or improv,
Absolutely.
would you jump at that?
I know where you're going with that question. Absolutely. That was so much fun. I love that stuff. I love when you get to just let loose and not know what's going to happen and see what happens and just be in a safe place with really talented people to bounce stuff off of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
You
It's
did it several
basically
times, didn't you?
I did Acme, and then I did another version of their
Yeah,
show
I
with
thought-
I forget who the group was at the time, but that for those who don't know what Acme is,
yeah.
it's essentially a Saturday Night Live style live show where you just do skits and you host, and there's musical numbers and whatnot. But yeah, I got to do that with my co-host Molly Burnett.
Yeah.
And we had a blast.
And I will say, if you didn't see it then, you can still see it now on YouTube. Just do a little search.
That's
and
right.
You'll find it.
Everything's on YouTube, Mark. Everything's on
Forever.
YouTube. That's right.
It's forever.
Well, Ashley, thank you so much for calling in. And, stay tuned because we're going to have some more upcoming guests from Days of Our Lives very soon.
Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, great stuff.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thanks, Ashley.
Oh, yeah, because actually when I was typing this in so that I could watch our live feed, I saw that it was listed on there. Mm. And I remember actually going and sitting there and watching it. You guys were funny.
It was fun.
Yeah.
That does great. They do great stuff anyway.
Oh, yeah.
They always do great stuff. I've seen many shows there. They do great stuff.
And they're a good, talented group of people.
Mm-hmm. They are.
That's the one. Okay, so someone reminded me in...
Like, what's he doing over there?
Well, I'm sorry. When I'm looking away, I'm paying attention to our chat.
Yes.
And Elena just said, watch Dramatic Human Situations. It's the best. And that's the one.
Okay.
That's the one I remember. Because I remember that was so funny. I think I even went home and saw that they uploaded it online. I watched it again.
One of our favorite things, obviously being on a soap, you gotta have some humor and joke about the cliches of soap operas. And so we put together a little clip of, we called it Dramatic Human Situations, where we just did the cliches of soap opera, where we even at certain points switched out the actor right in the middle of a line or a scene, and the slow pan-ins with no words to cut to commercial, and then we kind of exaggerated on that a bit.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun, yeah.
That was my favorite. Now I'm going to go home and watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tweet everyone about
Look
it.
at you. too. Now, I'm going to go back a little bit because you did work with someone else who's infamous now. You're on Hannah Montana.
Oh, Lord.
You did several episodes of Hannah Montana.
Yes.
So how was that experience with the teenage Miley Cyrus?
That was fun.
Because I'm sure she's different then than how she is now.
Yeah, a little bit different.
Okay.
That was a while ago. I think she was 16 when I did that.
Yeah, she was,
that was great. I also gained a huge respect for those guys. To see that style of acting is a whole nother animal.
Well, sure.
Which I had there's in a movie you can take times, you can take breaks, you can take pauses, you can let things sink in. And not on a show like that. You're
really?
constantly moving. Mm-hmm. You know your role in the show is to sometimes set up jokes for other actors. So there's a pacing to it. It's very specific, and they rehearse very.
They do?
Yeah, very strenuously throughout the week, just to build up to that one show.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And they'll do some stuff where they'll shoot it, and then they'll do the rest of it live.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So you must, and these are kids, a lot of them were kids, right?
Yeah, every joke is watched, and then they'll change it, and the last second they'll change a hand gesture, just things to make sure everything's very specific. So it's very challenging, and those kids are very talented.
Yeah.
I feel like they're really groomed. It's a schooling, isn't it, for them, probably?
Oh, yeah.
They sing, they dance, they act.
And it becomes a muscle after a while, because they did it so effortlessly, and I'm sitting there, I'm counting out the tenths of a second before I say my next line.
Oh, how funny.
No,
so the beats were kind of, there was different
there's a cadence to it, and if you do it wrong, they'll say, hey, just trim this, trim the fat, they'll say.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's even more, thought you were Italian. I love that. But did you guys get along? You to talk to her?
Yeah,
she's a
of
teenager,
course.
so was she
No,
nice?
it was a lot of fun.
And Billy Ray, of course.
I spent a lot of time talking to Billy Ray because musical background. My grandmother was in love with him, so that was a conversation that turned into a lot of headshots being signed, and just talking music with him.
Now let's lead into that. You went to school.
I did for music education.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So how was that?
Awesome. I love music. It's one of my first passions. It's just something I learned I didn't want to make into a career.
Oh, okay.
Because I love it so much. So now it's limited to my shower in the karaoke bar. So.
Okay, go-to karaoke song. What's your first, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Probably Creep by Radiohead.
Oh, wow.
You're With or Without You by U2 are my favorite two. But depending on the mood, you got to know your audience, right? Because then if it turns into a Montel Jordan, this is how we do it.
That gets the party going.
Yeah, you got to switch it up, or some Sublime, or stuff. Yeah.
Wow, you get some good musical taste there. You're picking all kinds of stuff.
You know what I do during karaoke? I sing everyone else's songs. So while people are up, I am sitting in the seat.
Oh, you're singing it.
I know, it's
trying to be louder than them on the microphone.
Well, not trying to be louder, but maybe trying to keep up with them.
My experience of you is you are over in the corner putting on a full-on dance number.
Okay.
While people are singing.
Everyone knows.
Let's get into Beyonce here.
Oh God! Wait, have you seen that too?
Of course. How many times have I been to Greenville with you?
That is right.
Yes, I've seen you in your glory days.
Oh,
So
gosh.
he's turning red. You can't see it, but he's turning red.
I am because Beyonce always comes up. And
It does always come for him, always.
He knows the single ladies dance, every move, every inch.
I do.
He's like,
Put your
Oh,
hands
look,
up.
we have a caller on. So
Maybe I should have asked you, is there anything you don't want me to bring up?
caller, you are live on AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On with Mr. Mark Hapka. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Elena.
Oh, hey, Elena, how are you?
hey.
I know I had a comment, but I had to call in because, you know.
Well, of course. How you been?
Good.
Good.
And yes, I must say you do an amazing single ladies dance. I've seen it in person probably, 6 or 8 times.
Have I done it that many times?
Apparently.
Listen,
on now.
Listen, it's like when the song comes on, it's like a blur. And next thing you know, I'm like standing there and I'm sweating and I'm like, what just happened? And someone has to like remind me.
And you see red, you wake up and you're like,
Great song.
What happened? So,
where are my clothes?
right? Thank God that's never happened. So, Elena, do you have a question or a comment for Mark?
Well, I haven't seen him since, August of last year. I wanted to say hi at the 23 Blast
Yeah, the
in
premiere.
Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Recently moved to Nashville, so.
You live in Nashville now?
Yeah.
Nice.
But I guess my question is, are there any projects that I have not seen online that Mark is working on at the moment?
I just did another Lifetime movie.
There you go. They're
Those are
imploring
fun.
you.
That should be out either by the close of this year or the beginning of next.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but
What's the name of it?
It doesn't have an
It's
only ones I've
Untitled
seen are
Lifetime Will Suck You In
Blast
movie.
and
They always change the titles. So
do they?
there's the script title, and then it turns into things like Deadly Revenge. That was originally called Committed.
All right, well,
That's
keep
so
that in
funny.
mind.
Yeah.
I could see committed because someone should have committed her to something.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
we're talking about relationships being committed. Like
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
double meaning there. I
yes.
thought it was pretty interesting. But
Yeah.
Deadly Revenge is what brings in the viewers.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Because like,
So-
ooh, what'd you do?
And it's right up there next to Deadly Hellos, Deadly Goodbyes, Deadly Weeks, Deadly Years.
Just deadly.
Yeah. So there's that. Actually, Parallels is something that I was very excited to make back in New Orleans. And it's on Netflix now.
Okay.
And they did this silent release with it. It's technically a pilot to a series put out by Fox.
Oh.
But they did it as a standalone movie, and they silently released it with no, literally no
Fanfare,
marketing or
nothing.
anything. Didn't even mention it.
Wow.
It's like
And-
Beyonce's album.
yeah. Yeah,
Just
but
put it up.
people know that a little bit more than but anyway, by the end of the week, we had found out that the star ratings were through the roof. The
see?
views were through the roof. We
Wow.
had gotten followings in different countries, and it had become
Wow.
kind of a cult classic. So now there's talks of it being a series, but I don't know anything yet.
Oh, good.
They won't tell me.
Wow.
But I would love that.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back to something like that.
Well, let's cross our fingers and hope
Yes.
it comes into
Hashtag
fruition.
parallels.
Yeah.
Hashtag parallels.
Yeah, let's do that.
The TV
Meanwhile,
show.
check it out on Netflix. It's one of my favorite things. That's a little different. You talk about like playing the nice doctor. Like I've been very blessed to like change it up. Like
Yeah.
23 Blast, I play a very sweet high school football player. But in Parallels, I play this like badass. Sorry. Kid from Philly who shaved head, underground
wow.
fighter, just
Okay.
kind of self.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, see, that just means that he's great at what he does and he has range.
That's right.
That's what we in the industry call range.
in the industry.
Thank
There
you.
go, yes.
Yeah.
Actor for hire. Actor for hire.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, and make sure you always tune in to us every Sunday at 5
right.
p.m.
Thank you,
for
Elena.
Audition Days.
Thank you. It's good to talk to you.
Thank
All
you.
right,
too.
good talking to you too. You know what, that with you saying how like they did a silent release on Netflix, that makes me want to like silently start talking on days. Like while I'm walking around,
Just
I
spit
just
some
kinda,
words out.
Yeah, I just walk by them. Oh, hey John, how are you? And
keep
just like
going.
keep going.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
And then they're like, "Who's this kid that keeps like talking to them?" I think they would cut.
They would cut
Because
it.
there's a shift there in like pay bumps and everything. Like,
Yeah.
once you
Yes,
reach
yeah.
like under five, it's called under
Yeah.
five words, right?
Uh-huh.
That's interesting.
Hey, Marlena. Keep going.
And then they're like, cut. I'm like, don't worry, you guys don't have to pay me. I'm just this is just a silent, like, you know.
Your line is, how are you today?
Yeah.
And you're like, how are you today, my friend?
Yeah.
You're like,
no,
Tony, bring it back 2 words.
Right, 2 words. Right, bring it back. I'm going to say, this is just a silent release of a character. Don't worry, we'll take care of publicity later.
Just put it out there, man. Throw it in the universe. Declare it now, and you'll be there.
Maxine Sun. That's
Exactly.
right, working it out.
So which do you like better? Do you like being in front of the camera or behind the camera, since you're now experiencing both?
They both fill their own voids. Like I'm realizing a lot of the creative things I feel like I'm lacking in anything I've acted in. Once I got a chance to direct, those were all filled. It was amazing. Like it's just a different creative high, and it's a relaxed one, and you get to eat more. And you get to get a little more portly and sit back and wake up and just throw on a hat and not have to worry about anything else.
Exactly.
That's kind of awesome.
That's good.
There's both to be able to paint the picture rather than being a puzzle in the picture is a completely different animal.
Do you find being an actor helps your directing?
Absolutely. Being an actor's director is the best director.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some directors don't understand the aspect of acting, so they're all about their shot and setting up, and they expect the actor just to like jump right into something that might take a moment to warm them up or might need some words of encouragement right before. So I think understanding it's more fun to play with the actors.
Who's the most important person you need as a director to work with you?
Say it again?
Most important person, crew member you need to work with you as a director.
As a director, what's most important to you? That's the thing. It's like every part, you take one out of the puzzle and it all crumbles.
Okay.
There's always a struggle of like, oh, well, crew, what's more important, crew or actors, or whatever. Like, you take one out and none of it works.
So like principal photography is important just as much as
absolutely
sound.
It's not like music where all you need is a bass guitar and the drums and you're good to go.
And an engineer and you're ready to go, right?
You need everything.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Ashley from our chat room wants to know if there was one character on days you could play instead of Nathan.
Oh.
Who would it be?
That's a popular question.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Maxine's son is taken. Don't have to worry about that one.
I promise not to go back as Maxine's son.
Would you die?
The day that happens, you
I'm no longer invited.
He'd come out of nowhere.
Hashtag Mark's not allowed.
Yeah. You'd be like, excuse me?
Be pushed over in Salem Square by you.
They're like, who's that?
Or Horton Square.
The real Maxine's son.
That's right.
It's funny. He's an imposter. I guess any Kyriakis or Demira. Come on now.
Yes.
Oh,
any of them.
He could be any of them.
Yeah,
That's
even
true.
Chad would have been a lot of fun to play, I think.
Ooh, yes. I can see with Chad too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have came back as after Casey.
Yeah. Completely.
Yeah.
Or if Johnny actually does become of age.
There you go.
Going back as Johnny Demira and reprising my role in the present.
Listen, you can play Johnny Demira. I'll play Theo.
Nice.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Look at that.
I love that kid. That kid's so cute.
He's a talented little one.
Yeah, he's talented.
Yeah.
We had great scenes in like the Christmas episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wait, Christmas, did you read the thing to your kids? I thought so. That's right. It's a Horton thing.
Yeah, it is. And I fill in the shoes of great granddad.
Yes, with Donald Carey.
Now, Tracy from our chat row wants to know, what do you like to do in your downtime? Is there even a such thing as downtime?
I sleep when I can. I love to hike. I love being outside. I live in a very fortunate state for that. Mountain biking, any type of traveling I can do, and just the other creative stuff. Just writing, talking about ideas, and just creating anything.
Yeah.
Anytime.
You're outdoorsy. See, I have to stay indoors.
Why?
I don't know. It's too hot.
Oh,
I might melt.
See, I created a sanctuary in my back. I have a huge backyard, so I got a blow-up pool.
See, that's a luxury.
Oh, nice.
I know it's a luxury. I'm very fortunate to have that,
So
and I have all this stuff back there.
My dad's done the same thing. They call my dad Bob, Robert
Hello,
Bob, and his wife Amy. They have their yard, which is basically the same size as their house, but it's a screened-in dome in Florida.
Oh, wow.
And he's created what we call B&A Lounge, Bob and Amy's Lounge.
Yeah.
They have cornhole. They now have like life-size Jenga. When I was there, I was like, you have no speaker system out here, so I ended up surprising him for I think it was his birthday, and had these like rock speakers put in and like a new amplifier, and that place is hopping on an
They
even
are
night.
living the life.
I'm working on
It's
mine.
the same thing. You build your sanctuary, and there's no reason to go anywhere.
That's what I'm
Save
finding.
the money, fill the fridge with beer, wine.
Exactly.
And, do you guys have more tequila or no?
Yeah, right, exactly right. I think we're out.
Now, I have to say, Bob and Amy are pretty popular on
My
Facebook
dad is
with
more friends with my friends than I am.
Because every now and then I see like their Facebook name like pop up under comments.
Oh
and
my God,
like
yeah.
that.
Like everyone talks to my dad. And I'm like, some people I haven't talked to 3-4 years. Like, oh yeah, I talked to so and so. They're doing great. I'm like,
okay,
awesome. Yeah,
I love that. I will. You know what? If you ever need someone to do like social media for you or anything like that, I think you can get your dad, and he'll be
There you go.
right
I think
on
he'd do
top
a good
of it.
job.
Yeah.
However, I'm a diluted version of him, and sometimes I don't have a filter in things I say, and usually my opinions are vocalized, but he definitely doesn't. And yeah, he makes me look like a saint. So I don't know if that's a good idea,
Dang it. That's great. Good for Dan. We like
but
that.
I love him for it.
Yes, of course. That's good.
Good.
Now, I was going to say, you also did Ghost Whisperer.
Yes.
And the spinoff, too, which I didn't remember the spinoff.
So
for.
back in the day,
Okay.
they created this thing called a web series.
Mm-hmm.
It was before anyone knew what it was,
Yeah.
and we were
What's this web series?
officially one of the first web series.
Oh, wow.
Put online. Nice little trivia, IMDb trivia.
I liked
for it.
everybody. Like that.
They wanted to bring more of the viewers to the web and bring web viewers
Back
to
to
the
the
show.
series. Mhm.
So they did this crossover
Okay.
thing, which is perfect for Ghost Whisperer,
Yeah.
crossing over
Yes,
into the.
Of course.
Yeah.
'Cause you
So
were a
they
ghost.
created a ghost online who needed help, and so he sought out the help of Melinda Gordon, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah.
So they cross him over onto the show. She'd give him advice. He'd do stuff. Then he'd cross back over to the online show and go through his season. I did 2 seasons of that, and then they did 2 more after I had left as
Okay.
well. And that kind of changed the idea of a web series, and it's a whole other style of acting too. Is like getting a whole bunch of information across in 2 to 3-minute clips.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes 5.
Which is happening a lot now.
A lot.
Yeah, no.
So there's cutting out a lot of the fat of dialogue, and
Right.
just saying little lines here and there, and it's very interesting.
How was Miss Jennifer Love? Or is she called Love? How was Love?
She's awesome.
Is she called Love now?
Well, she's always
Love.
been Love. She's
Always
always been
Love,
Love.
yeah.
She's always been Love. That was
So-
always her thing.
Change my name.
She's been working for as long as any of us can remember.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
She still will treat anyone on set as though she's been there just as long as them. So, like, she wanted to do some stuff, and I remember in a scene, she's like, "Hey, so do you care if I try this?" I'm like, "This is your show. You can do
Well,
whatever
girl,
you
you're
want.
right.
I'm just happy to be here." So, she's very humble, very sweet. Yeah.
It's about another singer actress who
Yeah.
did some songs, had some albums. So yeah, so it's kind of funny.
Now, but before we head off, one last question for you. If you could create or write a role that you've always wanted to play or do, what would that role be?
I have a fascination with autism. I see a lot of children with it, and I have friends, family friends with autism, and I think there's something brilliant behind it. So that I think would be very challenging to research and to play, and something that I definitely would love to bring more awareness to. So yeah, something along the lines of that. Anything that's challenging.
Yeah.
I've kind of done the casual, I don't know, just anything that I haven't done yet,
Yeah.
and that's always the goal.
So that's always good. It's always good to push yourself in this
Exactly.
industry.
There's a lot of roles out there.
And
There's a lot
have
of roles out there.
range.
Yeah.
Range.
That
is
range,
good.
Keep it
that Mariah
interesting.
Carey range.
Yeah.
Mariah
Well, I
Carey.
don't know, because lately
Well,
she doesn't have
Ariana
that.
Grande range, we'll say, right?
Yes, yes.
The new Mariah.
The new Mariah.
I don't know if I just piss people off by saying that.
Hey, we
but-
love it.
Listen,
we don't care.
Ariana just licked a donut. I'm sure.
Right.
we're
No,
good.
she licked several donuts, didn't
Several
she?
donuts, yes.
I just heard about this.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
walked around this store and someone dared her to lick all
and
the
she did.
donuts,
And
and
she
she
did.
did it, and then they caught her on camera.
I know.
That's brilliant.
And now she's like, I'm sorry. She should say, listen, I got dared. It happens.
yeah,
But,
I mean,
you
it's
know.
not. She's no Winona Ryder. It's
Yeah.
not like she's stealing stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean,
She actually left stuff there.
yeah, she left stuff. She left her
And DNA.
signature in a different
Yeah,
way.
she did. It's some DNA. Yes,
Yeah.
she
She
did.
just upped the value of those donuts.
She
as far
did,
as I'm
didn't
concerned.
Ariana, are these the donuts?
They're like $15 per
eBay them
donut.
all now.
Yeah.
Now, of course, but before we head out, last minute plugs. Anything else that we
Yes.
need to be on the lookout, and of course, where we can keep up with you so that we can find out the latest on you.
Yeah, I mean, so Parallels and 23 Blast are the things that are out there right now.
Yeah.
There's some stuff, coming up, but that'll be announced later on down the road. So I guess just, how do you guys do it? Follow me on Twitter. My handle is @Mark Hapka.
That's right.
And my Instagram's the same thing. So those are my two favorite
Okay.
that I post on. But yeah, just keep a lookout for that. Check out Parallels, rate it, tell them you want it to be a show, because I'd love to shoot more of that.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Of course.
Have you guys seen it yet?
No, I've
Put you on the
seen it.
spot.
I'm going to do it.
not yet.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, we're going.
I want to see with a shaved head. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Oh man, it's the best way to wake up. And do your hair.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Totally jealous.
We
of you
know.
guys.
We know.
Preaching to the choir.
Yeah, exactly. Like we know what it's like.
I haven't had to do my hair since middle school,
Oh my goodness.
and that's when I had braids.
Oh yeah. Why
Don't go there.
Picture.
There is out. Maybe that'll be my hashtag TBT.
Yeah.
Your new avatar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
good.
do that.
So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you,
coming
Mark,
this.
for joining us,
Yes.
and thank you guys for tuning in. And of course, James, where can they find you?
Black Hope LA on Twitter. Just find me there.
And of course, you guys can find me on all social medias at Lounging with Tony. And make sure you tune in every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we recap your favorite soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Once again, thank you, Mark, so much for joining
Thank you,
us.
gentlemen, very much.
And we will see you guys this Sunday.
Awesome.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.